Okay, so forget the bullshit intro. This is something a little bit different. My first movie review on this channel, and more than likely the last. My review for Halloween Kills. Now, I'm a big horror movie fan, as some of you guys know. And the original Halloween from 1978 is one of my favourite horror movies of all time, and one of my favourite movies of all time. So, I'm a big Halloween fan. I loved the original. I even liked some of the sequels to the original series. However, in 2018, the Halloween series went in a different direction. A new movie was released, and essentially what they did was they ignored everything after the original Halloween. So Halloween 2018 was a direct sequel to Halloween 1978. And when it comes to Halloween 2018, I felt that movie had potential. They got some things right. James Jude Courtney as Michael Myers was excellent, as he was in Halloween Kills. The character of Michael Myers is perfect. James Jude Courtney does a great job, from the walk to the head tilt to the movement. James Jude Courtney plays a great Michael Myers, and they got the mask right. They got it bang on. But Halloween 2018 for me, it was a mixed bag. I felt it was a bit of a mess. I felt it was a movie that had potential, but ultimately I think they tried to do too much. And yeah, really, it was just a bit of a mess. So going into Halloween Kills, I was very skeptical on how they could follow on and build from Halloween 2018. And quite frankly, I wasn't really expecting much, but I got much less. I'll be honest, I know there's a lot of Halloween fanboys out there. I love Halloween, but this movie was an absolute abomination as far as I'm concerned. The only positive was Michael Myers himself. Again, James Jude Courtney plays a great Michael Myers. He's got the movements down, the walk down. They did a great job in crafting the mask once again. Michael Myers is perfect. It's such a shame that this Michael Myers wasn't under a better script and a better storyline, because one thing about the original Halloween sequels was that they could never really nail down the characteristics of Michael Myers to the same sense as the original. But here we have James Jude Courtney, who is damn fucking good as Michael Myers, the best since the original, but he's under a bullshit storyline and a really bad script, in my opinion. And it's such a shame, because for years, man, the Halloween franchise struggled to get Michael Myers right again. And they have now, but for me, everything else is just bad. The storyline, the script, the atmosphere, the music, everything about this to me was just lacking. And I know I mentioned earlier about Michael Myers being perfect. What I mean by that is physically, in terms of how he looks, how he walks, how he moves, etc. They've got Michael Myers down perfect. However, they've completely forgotten the essence of Michael Myers. I mean, when you look at the original Halloween, what was he credited as? He was credited as the Shape, right? The Shape meaning that he doesn't show himself often. He could be in any dark room, any cupboard. He could be anywhere. He blends into the background. You never know when to expect him. That was the beauty of Michael Myers. In the original movie, he was a stalker. He lurked in the shadows, and nobody was safe. It was extremely suspenseful in the original Halloween. But Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, and I put these two movies together because they're both made by Blumhouse. These movies, especially Halloween Kills, has no suspense whatsoever. None whatsoever. It's basically now like Michael Myers is the Terminator or Jason Voorhees. That's what Michael Myers is now. He's not Michael Myers anymore. It's basically Jason Voorhees with a Halloween mask. Because they've completely forgotten the essence of what Michael Myers is, as far as I'm concerned. And this whole, not reboot, but redirection in the franchise has been extremely poorly handled. I mean, what's really annoyed me as well is that both movies have had like Easter eggs to the original Halloween, like certain scenes being reshot in these newer movies, but they've basically forgotten everything else, what made Michael Myers Michael Myers, and what made Halloween Halloween. And that's another thing. To me, these newer movies, Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, they just don't feel like Halloween movies. They feel like regular slashers. high body count, a few gruesome kills, and that's really it. But to me, these last two movies haven't been Halloween movies. They've just been regular old slasher movies. And that's okay. Ordinarily, if I watched these movies, I would probably say to myself, you know what, it's not great, but it's a fun little slasher. I've had a bit of fun, on to the next one kind of thing. But when you attach the Halloween name, given how great the original was, I expect much better. And to me, this hasn't delivered. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there who just, get butthurt about that. But it was the same with Halloween 2018. When that movie first came out, everybody was raving about it. But as time went on, people really saw it for what it was. And that movie was a mess in its own right. But at least that movie had potential, but they ruined it. And going into this movie, they really had nowhere to go. So just really, really disappointing, man. And again, it's such a shame because, one of the hardest things about Halloween and making a new Halloween movie is getting Michael Myers right. And again, I have to reiterate this. James Jude Courtney plays a great Michael Myers, but he's got nothing to work with whatsoever. As I said, the script, the storyline, terrible as far as I'm concerned. No suspenseful scenes. The cinematography involving Michael Myers to me is pretty poor. There's none of this emerging from the shadows or anything like that. It's merely cheap jump scares. There's no scenes where it builds tension. I mean, listen, man, the lack of tension in this movie is even worse than Halloween 2018. I mean, I could go back and watch one of the later Friday the 13th movies from the mid to late 80s, and those movies have more tension than Halloween Kills. I'm not joking. This movie had no tension whatsoever. None whatsoever. Every time I expected Michael Myers to appear, he appeared. It was so predictable, so obvious, and to me the lack of tension in a Halloween movie is unforgivable. That's what makes the character the character. That's what makes the movie the movie. I mean, that's why the original Halloween was so revered. It didn't have to rely on gore or cheap jump scares or anything like that. It unsettled you. Even in scenes where Michael Myers wasn't there, you thought he was, you thought he could be, but he wasn't. There's none of that in this movie. To me, it's just extremely disappointing. I mean, as a slasher on its own, it could be good fun, but again, when you attach the Halloween name, I think a certain standard of quality is expected, and to me, it wasn't delivered. Again, I had my problems with Halloween 2018. I felt they got certain things right, but I felt they got a lot wrong. They went in the wrong direction, in my opinion. And this movie, man, it gets even worse, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, again, the only real positive I can really say is James Jude Courtney plays a great Michael Myers. I'm struggling after that. I'm really struggling. The opening scene, actually, spoiler, but not really a spoiler, but the opening scene is a flashback scene. It does look good. It's shot really well. It looks like it's straight from the original. But again, to me, the acting was a little bit... It wasn't engrossing. It didn't really pull me in. It didn't seem believable. It seemed hokey. And again, man, to me this whole movie was a misfire, is what I'm trying to say. I can't say I was expecting much, but still, man, I still wind up disappointed. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into too many plot points for those who haven't seen it and want to see it, but the whole plot to me is just a fucking mess anyway. I wouldn't know where to start. So yeah, disappointed. A step down from Halloween 2018, and for me, just a really bad Halloween movie, have to be honest. But share your thoughts below. If you've seen this movie, what did you think? Are you as disappointed as me? Again, I'm coming from the perspective that Halloween, the original, is one of my favourite movies of all time. Even, a couple of the original sequels like Halloween 2 and Halloween 4, I quite liked. But, Halloween, yeah, these last two movies, to me, haven't really hit the mark, especially Halloween Kills. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Peace.